One misconception people have about the automatic extension is that everybody in California doesn't have to worry about filing until October 16th.
Well, it is true for everybody except for the people that live in 3 counties. Because we actually, almost every single one of the counties in California, because of the winter storms, has been declared a federal disaster area. And as soon as those counties were declared federal disaster areas, then the IRS, as well as our own state, the Franchise Tax Board, decided to automatically extend the filing date for all tax returns to October 16th.
According to the website of the State Franchise Tax Board, those counties are Lassen, Modoc, and Shasta. Residents in those 3 counties still must file tax returns today along with the rest of the country. But for the majority of Californians who do get to enjoy the extra time, the extension not only applies to individuals but also to the businesses they run. And there won't be penalties or additional interest charged on tax owed during the extension period. Now, what if you owe taxes? Most people are probably going to get a refund when they file. But what if they owe taxes when they file in October? Would it be interest charged from today on to October?
So normally that would be the case, except for the fact that the IRS has indicated that any payments that would be due are also going to be automatically extended as well. Now, if there's a situation that happens where there may be a penalty because of the situation that the taxpayer is in, then the taxpayer can contact the Internal Revenue Service and try to negotiate the penalty away. Because, again, the fact that we're living in California and we've been declared federal disaster area.
The extension also applies to those self-employed individuals making estimated tax quarterly.
So that has also been extended, although I would caution people who do have to make estimated tax payments maybe not to wait until the October 16th date, because you'd have to make all of the payments all at once. So if you are able to pay along the way, I would suggest doing that, although those estimated tax payments have also been extended.
Chen also reminds everyone that extension is not a license to procrastinate.
I would urge you not to wait too long to get really, really close to that October deadline. Because again, you'll forget about the job that you have. Maybe you'll accidentally forget about what you just said, downloading the 1099 that's available to you. And so I would urge people, as soon as they're able to gather up all their documents and things that they need and really just sit down and just prepare taxes, and then they'll be done, and then just file electronically.
She also has some advice for taxpayers.
So I think the first thing that I would advise taxpayer is that if you're getting a refund, please don't be surprised if your refund is smaller. If you are potentially owing money, please don't be surprised that you might owe more than you expected. Because what happened for the 22 year is all of the COVID-19 law that went to go help taxpayers expired. And so 22 is just like any other year. So child tax credit increases drop back down to their normal levels. A lot of other different sort of credits and additional payments. Remember the economic stimulus payments? So the economic stimulus payments were not paid. And you were not, and normally, and when they were paid, they weren't taxed. So whatever amount of income you're making, that's going to be fully taxed. And so I think that a lot of taxpayers are caught a little bit off guard for the 22 year because they were able to receive rather robust refunds and maybe owe a little bit less in the 20 year and the 21 year. But 22 is just like any other tax year.
Chen says the most common clerical error she sees is when transposing numbers.
So I think the most common clerical error is to transpose numbers, right? So it's supposed to be a 2 and the 3. You're working on your computer and you write 3-2 instead. And so that doesn't line up, right, with the information that your employer provided to the IRS. And of course, if you make that in the cents area, maybe it won't be that big of a deal. But if you're pulling that over into the tens of thousands area and you're transposing numbers, that could obviously run you into a bit of trouble. A lot of times, I think another common error is that people forget maybe they had like a job just for a few months or something to that extent, or maybe a project that they worked on for like a couple of weeks and they were paid, but then the person who employed them or the employer doesn't send them the W-2 or the 1099. And, they might have sent it to the IRS, but maybe not to you. And so then you're human, so you forget about it. And then you don't put it on your return. And then, of course, you're missing income. And that can also cause you to be picked up for audit as well.
She encourages people to double-check all information is accurate before submitting a filing to avoid being picked for audits.